I mean, this is controversial, but like, I'm not a Van Halen fan.
Whoa,
So,
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second here.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.
We talk about guitar tones and stuff like that. Like, do you love that over-processed, like, 80s tone with, like, all the chorus, or you like it just dry?
I like chorus because, like, I'm a big Brian May fan, and that kind of like chorusy kind of stuff I like. But I'm not super like heavy sounds and stuff like that. Like,
There's some Van Halen fans that love that Van Halen 1 Brown sound, but then you hear the 90s records with all the H3000 harmonizer and like the purists like, no, take that off. But then you have another portion of the fan base that's like, that's the best tone. So it's always.
I'm like, I mean, this is controversial, but like, I'm not a Van Halen fan. So,
whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on a second here. I'm the Van Halen guy. You can't say that on this show.
I know, but it's just, I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not.
Okay, let's get into
I
this.
used to say that shit when I was younger. Like, oh yeah, I love that.
Right.
Like Led Zeppelin, like I'm not a big fan of them either. And everyone's like, oh my God. I'm like, oh no, I'd like a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I do like a couple of songs, but that is about it. So I've learned, you know.
But that's the beauty of music. You're allowed, if you're not obligated to like it. If you like it, you like it. You don't put it on.
And that's fine, right? So
let me ask you, what about what don't you like about Van Halen? Because I'm genuinely curious.
It's just that a lot of like the 80s hair metal stuff was never really my thing. Like I like, you know, the ballads were the shit I liked, really.
Me too. I love the ballads.
But I like Jump.
Yeah.
But that's about it, man. Like it's just not really I've tried, you know what I mean? Because people say, oh, you got to listen to this record. Oh, this one's the best. And I put it on and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just, I think my ear is just, I'm such a pop music fan. Like I like melodies and choruses and hooks and stuff like that. So it's when it comes to bands that are more jam based, like, not that Van Halen, because they have their pop songs.
They're not jammy, but like, I mean, like, look, they started as a backyard party band, and they were playing top 40 most of their career. So like, you listen to a song like "Dance the Night Away," like that was a top 40 pop radio hit. I mean, they got some dancey songs. Yeah,
and I think, you know, maybe I just haven't heard the right songs, you know. And it's like, but like I mean, like it's like Led Zeppelin. It's like they don't have those traditional things. And that, you know, if I had that music on in the background, I'd think, yeah. But like, I always think of what music do I really like is when I'm on a plane and I have my headphones on and I'm gonna go listen to it.
So real quick, I mean, like, you know, Eddie Van Halen, obviously you mentioned he's one of the best guitar players ever, which he is. But Guitar World Online recently put out a poll and they called Brian May the greatest guitar player of all time.
Right.
Now, who are your favorite guitar players of all time? Now, and would you rank Brian May at the top as number one?
It's hard to, I think, ranking, because everyone's different, you know. It's like Eddie Van Halen can play all that shit, but like one of my favorite guitarists is also George Harrison, who, if you asked him to play Eruption, he'd be like, what the fuck? But like what he did, I think, you know, the solo in Something, for example, is like, it's so tasteful and it's so melodic and it's so beautifully played that it's just different. It's like you can't compare it. I think if you think technical guitar playing ability, then Eddie probably does win it in the sense that he could play all that shit, right? But like they had the same feel. It's like Brian May, like I feel is like an orchestral arranger. Like the parts that he arranges on, all the harmonies and the parts, it's something that I feel like, you know, it's so unique to him and his tone. And I'd say he's definitely in my top three. I think Keith Richards is one of the best riff writers
Keith
ever.
Richards, because when people talk about, you know, the greatest guitar player like lists, like you never really see him on there, and he's written some iconic fucking riffs.
Yeah, I think it's because, you know, like he's the rhythm guitar player though, really. He's not really like the solos. That was always Ronnie or the other guys. So yeah, I think that style though, that open G tuning is something that I've gravitated towards, and something I've always loved. And so I'd say him, and then Brian May, and then honestly, it's like I think for me, just hearing Hendrix the way he could, when you hear Little Wing for like the first time, or Foxy Lady, and just the way he played those lead, but it's like a record kind of thing. It was like a mixture of the two, but it's so melodic, and that invention of that style of playing.
There's even guys like Stevie Ray Vaughan where, he'd be like, bring, bedding, and then singing along at the same time. Like, it's fucking hard to play and sing at the same time.
Yeah. So Jimmy, and then I think like George Harrison, Keith Richards. They're kind of like my favorite. And then there is, I listened to American Idiot like literally yesterday, and just the guitar tones on that album, and Billy Joe is just, he's an underrated player as well. Like the sound that he gets, it's fucking incredible.
Fuck, man, when that lick starts and then it goes stereo. Fuck me, man.
That, I think Rob Cavallo and Chris Lord-Alge on that album was it's like a match made in heaven. I think.
Isn't that one of the greatest sounding records of all time?
Yeah, I think so. And then I think Angus Young, it's just it's hard to choose. It's like I wouldn't say who's the best out of all of them, but out of all of those are probably like my biggest inspirations, I guess.
Yeah. So to recap, Brian May, George Harrison, we'll throw Jimi Hendrix in there, Billy Joe Armstrong, Angus Young.
And Keith Richards.
So
6.
We'll take Jimmy out. We'll put Keith in that top 5.
Okay.
There you go. And Eddie Van Halen sucks.
No, he doesn't.
An all-new episode of The Jeremy White Show.
Available wherever you stream.
Catch up on past interviews and episodes on demand now.
Subscribe so you don't miss any of it.